Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. Obviously in this video we are going to talk about the profound tragedy of what occurred this past weekend at Travis Scott's Houston music festival, Astroworld. No doubt you guys have seen your share of news covering what's happened online or on TV. As a result of what unfolded, there are 8 dead, some just teenagers, hundreds injured, a few dozen hospitalized, among them a 10-year-old boy. Officials have declared this thing a mass casualty event, and the first lawsuit of what is most likely going to be many to come just got reported yesterday. There's a lot to unpack in this video, so let's try to go over all of this with some really basic questions. What happened? What should have happened, and who is to blame? As far as what happened goes, officials and concert-goer accounts describe the main driver of death and injury to be this massive crowd surge toward the stage as Travis Scott was set to perform. Numerous headlines have even described this as a stampede. So to describe it more clearly, thousands of people pushing to get closer to the stage, causing this collective compression of everybody further to the front, causing injuries, asphyxia, cardiac arrest. There have also been reports of a crazed man walking around with a syringe injecting people with some sort of, mystery chemical or drug. Houston police confirmed at least one instance of this happening to a security guard, but I find some of the focus on this post-Astroworld to be a bit of a distraction, because while this may in fact be something that happened, one lone actor or even a few doing this doesn't explain the full extent of the injuries and casualties at Astroworld. One survivor, according to Daily Beast, described the surge creating a floor of bodies, and many who were in the crowd seemed well aware of this terror in the moment. We have that now viral video of the kids trying to stop the concert by talking to a cameraman who was shooting the stage at the time. Then there's another concert video that surfaced of people in the crowd, just in the crowd, screaming for help as if they're drowning in the ocean. To put it in perspective, Astrofest is far from being the first festival or concert that's gotten way too rowdy, violent, or out of control. Being 36, part of me thinks of the horrifying images and videos that came out of Woodstock 99 and how little culturally we've learned since then. And while the kids who went to Astrofest certainly don't remember Woodstock 99, Ticketmaster does, who merged with Live Nation in 2010. And then there's also the question of what was Travis Scott's level of awareness during all of this. Because since all of this has come out, he has publicly said he was not aware all of this was going down. This has also been the line of defense for many of his fans too, like he couldn't have known people were dying. But clearly, if we look back at the video, there's no real curiosity on his part to understand the gravity of what's happening around him. And with this being his festival, he does have at least some level of obligation to want to know that, to be involved in understanding that. There's this one clip a lot of fans have been sharing around of Travis, calling to security or calling someone to the aid of another person who seems to be passed out or in a bad way. But then it looks even worse when you compound it with footage of Travis singing within eye shot of a limp body being crowd surfed over a barrier. So yes, while for one moment Travis may have stopped to observe that someone in the crowd was not in a great way, all of these things coming together didn't really raise the massive red flag for Travis that it should have. Travis and the greater festival personnel as well. Again, why is he not figuring this out, or why is he not trying to figure this out, or why is somebody who is more in the know not telling him what's going on? Why isn't it dawning on Travis that maybe the concert needs to stop at least for a little bit? What if whoever person is driving that security vehicle into the crowd is driving it for an emergency reason? What if they need the crowd to move? If that's the case, it may be dangerous to continue playing music at this point, which is evidenced by this video of people dancing on the security cart as Travis is performing. The Houston Chronicle said Travis Scott continued performing for 37 minutes after the festival had already been declared a mass casualty event. That's 37 minutes for Travis to figure out what's going on, for somebody somebody who is more in the know at the festival to relay that message to him or pull some kind of plug, stop something, make an announcement, which is significant because when you're talking about being crushed, being trampled, cardiac arrest, not being able to breathe, like seconds are life and death. And while I'm sure most of the staff who was on the ground did their best to deal with this situation, there have been accounts of a general lack of preparedness for a situation such as this on their part. One concert goer, who I guess is also an ICU nurse, describes passing out at the festival, then when coming to, not being treated and having to get up and help treat others because there were people on staff who didn't know how to take a pulse or were giving CPR to people who had a pulse. The more I see with all of this, the more damning all of it is, and undoubtedly these lawsuits, many more will be rolling out very soon, are going to be taking into account Travis Scott's past behavior to make him look even more liable for all of this. There's also that fan from a 2017 Travis Scott concert who was paralyzed as a result of what went down there, and he says that he feels Travis has learned nothing from the past instances of what have gone down at his concerts, like in 2015 when he was charged for inciting the crowd at Lollapalooza. So lawyers are going to use all of this to establish a pattern of recklessness that's going to be very difficult to ignore in a court setting, which is why many of these suits are probably going to go right to a settlement. This still could go in any direction, though, as Travis has not yet publicly acknowledged any real responsibility for any of this, most likely for legal reasons, of course. The responses so far have been pretty cut and dry or even formulaic, like this one from Astroworld Fest, which is very much a thoughts and prayers kind of thing and talking about working with officials. Travis Scott himself on Twitter put up your standard black and white notes app post. But what's even more confusing is like this Instagram story video that Travis posted as well. Look, guys, I don't want to make fun of this video. I will not make fun of this video because this is a really serious goddamn situation. People are dead. But this update is ridiculous. This video doesn't relay any info that we don't have already or that we need. It's just a very bad attempt at looking distraught. Travis at this point may be fighting a losing battle in terms of controlling the narrative around all of this. Look, guys, I know this video has been a lot and we're only just beginning to get to the bottom of what really happened at this thing. So maybe let's switch gears quickly and talk about what should have happened instead.
Wait. I gotta make a quick announcement about the help because there's a lot of people passing out bad and they give me 20 seconds. Yo, Chicago. They're telling me it's a lot of people passing out.
What should have happened is the festival should have been stopped or at least put on pause until we could all collectively, especially those running the festival and Travis, figure out what was going on and just allow clearance and safety and passage for those working to do their work so that they could save more lives. Also, just to prevent more people from getting hurt too. At the very least, what Travis should have done is just set a better tone among his fans for this event. Not encouraged the crowd to engage in reckless behavior. Don't jump on a security vehicle. If you see somebody falling down, help them up. Don't shove into each other needlessly. Look, I know at concerts, crowds can get crazy. Crowds can get rowdy. There's going to be some people there who are maybe on drugs or are drunk, and there's kind of an X factor there as a result of that. I've been to my share of metal and punk shows where things go nuts. But usually in those crowds, there tends to be a code of if someone falls down, pick them up. And on top of it, when you're talking about a festival that has as many people at it as Astroworld did, the risk factors for things like moshing and crowd surging increase exponentially. So yeah, that's what I think should have happened. The value of the lives of the people at the festival should have taken priority of the festival just continuing on as normal.
I care about you guys' safety first.
So yeah, guys, that's what I understand to have happened, and those are my opinions and thoughts on all of it. This thing's just a shame. It's a nightmare. Once again, it's a tragedy. It's disgusting. I hope I never have to see anything like this happen at a concert again in my life. We got our first full festival season back post-vaccine, and it could not have returned in a worse possible way. And while I know what happened at Astroworld is more the exception than the rule when it comes generally to concerts and music festivals at large, I hope artists and organizers and promoters across the industry are taking notice and really observing here like what went wrong along and trying to learn from these mistakes, because this can't keep happening. I think I'm just going to leave it there. I hope all of you are safe and doing well. And if you do go out to any more concerts and festivals for the rest of this year, just like, take care of each other and, just be responsible and be careful.
Let's go over it one more time. When someone falls, what do you do? When someone falls, what do you do? That's right, people.